Peter. I actually just cut Peter's hair because it is going to be rainy the next few days, and if you have a dog, you know that long dog hair and rain aren't exactly the best mix. So he's rocking some pretty short hair right now, and I just think it makes him look like a little puppy. So he just looks so cute right now. Like I said, it's pretty gray outside right now, so the boys and I are just having a really cozy, cuddly day indoors. As you will have seen, this morning I went to Danish class, and after 2.5 hours of sitting in a classroom with the rain falling outside just put me in a really sleepy mood. I'm taking some time to rest right now before I have to head outside one more time today. Really hard to believe that just a few days ago I was in shorts and a tank top. It was a little over 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I spent the entire day outdoors soaking up the sun because I knew that we would be having typical Copenhagen spring weather for the next few days. Back when I lived in the US, in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a very sunny part of the US, I would have taken a warm day like that for granted and probably would have spent the whole day indoors. But my lifestyle here in Copenhagen makes it so that the weather plays a huge role in my day-to-day life. Since my main mode of transportation is my bike, on days when it's rainy and cold like this, I feel the weather. When it's beautiful and warm and sunny, I'm not in a car, I'm riding my bike, enjoying the fresh air, enjoying the breeze. And there's also so much green space in this city, and there's the beach and the water. There's so many outdoor activities that you can enjoy. And I can tell that the people here take full advantage of those things when they can. And now I feel more like a native because as soon as the sun is out, I rush outside. The warmth is not something to be taken for granted. And I'm really glad that I went to the zoo that morning. I took a trip to the Copenhagen Zoo. Actually, my first time going to the Copenhagen Zoo. I have a deep love for animals. It's part of the reason why I'm a vegetarian, to be honest. Obviously, I live with animals. Animals have such a life to them and such a spirit to them. I just can't bring myself to eat them. And this is not a judgment against anyone that eats animals. My husband is not vegetarian. I don't think anyone else in my family is vegetarian. It was just a personal choice that I made for myself. And because I love animals so much, I was kind of hesitant about taking this trip to the zoo. But when one of my friends proposed that we go to the zoo, something in me was telling me to keep an open mind. And my friend is someone who works with wildlife full-time as part of her career. That definitely factored into my decision to go. But I have to say, this past trip to the zoo was hands down the best zoo experience I'd ever had. Because my friend works with wildlife, she had also had some discussions with some of the zookeepers in the past, and she was able to relay a lot of really valuable information about the zoo's conservation efforts when it came to the animals. She told me about some of the projects the zoo was funding and raising money for, and she also told me that the zoo animals kind of acted as ambassadors. When people are able to view these animals and create personal bond with these animals, they're more likely to donate money and resources for these animals to thrive. And my friend personally has a project that she's working on to raise money for a particular animal. And the money for that project was partially provided by a zoo. I have been reading up more on what specifically Copenhagen Zoo is doing, and it's really easy to see on their website some of the measures that they're taking to make sure that these animals that they are responsible for have a really high quality of life. You can also see some of the things that they're doing as far as animal conservation. So overall, this experience reminded me the importance of having an open mind and also of doing your research before you take a hard stance against something. So I'm glad I did that. And it was really good for me mentally to take some time to do some of the things that make me happy, being outdoors in the sunshine, being around really cute animals all day. Because, to be honest, I have not been feeling the best these past few days. If you've been watching this channel, you know that a couple weeks ago, my mother was here in Copenhagen. We had a wonderful time showing her around, and she was here for 6 days, and it felt like one day because I've just been missing my mom and my family so much. And so ever since she left, I just have been feeling a little bit isolated from my loved ones. Especially this time of year, which is graduation season in the US. I have a really big family and we're all very close. We've always celebrated birthdays together and had big dinners to celebrate engagements, graduations, holidays. Any chance to celebrate, my family is getting together and celebrating one another. And so my family has always been this major presence in my life. And that's really the only thing that made it extremely hard to move here. Like there's, of course, things about the US that I miss, places that I'm nostalgic for, foods that remind me of my childhood, but those sacrifices seem really small when compared to all of the amazing things I've gained from moving here to Denmark. But one sacrifice that will always be major and will never go away is the time that I'm missing with my family. Now, the last time my family was here was back in Christmas time. They spent Christmas here in Denmark, and then right after we went to Sweden, and we had a little second Christmas celebration in Sweden. And it was very lovely because my family and my husband's family all got to celebrate the holidays together. And it was such a highlight of this whole journey moving here, was being able to share the culture that I'm experiencing here with my family. But right after they left, I hit an all-time low as far as how I've been feeling since I moved here. So the question I've been asking myself is how to cope with missing my family. When my family left, the thing that helped me cope was to plan a trip. That time, my husband and I planned a little getaway to Aarhus. This time around, I'm planning to visit a different part of Denmark. Some of you in the comments have suggested some really, really great places for me to visit, and I'm finally taking your advice. And to be honest, I was a little overwhelmed with how many beautiful destinations there are here in Denmark. Once I made a list of all of your suggestions, I looked all those places up, and I originally thought a few places will catch my eye, and I can probably make a list of like my top 3 and visit all those places this summer. But oh my gosh, there are so many gorgeous islands, small towns in this country. And so it was near impossible to choose where I wanted to start. So I literally just picked a place at random. Funnily enough, I recently made a new friend who is actually a native of that area of Denmark that I'm going to be visiting soon. And so she gave me a whole list of things to do and little places around that area to visit. So I think I got a pretty good starting point for my travels around this country. Also, I've been planning a couple of trips abroad. I'll keep those destinations a little secret for now because obviously I'll be taking you along. One place in particular is a place that I never in a million years thought I'd be going to, just because it was a country that was never on my radar. And so I am deeply curious about what it's going to be like. So yeah, I've been throwing myself into planning these trips as a way of coping with missing my loved ones back home, because it reminds me of one of the reasons I wanted to move to Europe in the first place. Here in Europe, you have access to so many different countries and cultures, just a short train ride or plane ride away. So that's how I've been dealing with missing my family, and more specifically, missing my mom. But it's good to remind myself of why I moved here in the first place. And I also feel really thankful for modern technology. I've been able to stay in touch with my loved ones quite easily. Ever since I moved, we have a big family group chat where we share pictures and accomplishments, and we send birthday wishes. And the past few days with my cousin's graduations, I've actually been able to watch their graduations live. Those kinds of things make me feel like I'm not too far away after all. Now, I know some of you watching can relate to how I'm feeling. I've only been living away from my family for about 9 months now, and some of you have been doing this for years. How do you cope with being so far away from your family? Do you have any advice you could give me? And maybe your advice can help some other people who are feeling down about being far away from loved ones. What are your techniques? What are your coping mechanisms? What has helped you the most as far as staying connected to the people you love? Doesn't look like the sun plans on coming out anytime soon. Seems I'm gonna have a little rainy day walk with the boys. And then I'm gonna go take a yoga class because yoga always helps to lift my spirits and at the very least offers me a little moment of peace in my day. I hope that whoever you are, wherever you are finding moments of peace and joy in your life. I hope you have an incredible week, and I will see you next time.